to you guys. I do want to get to the truth of this, and I think many people do. Okay. Now, I'll put this one as part 1, and then I will kind of follow up on this on a deeper level. Now, the lighting's not too great, and I do apologise about that. So I'm kind of doing my best here with this. So, okay, so just going to pop my glass. I've got 2 sets of cards here. Yeah, I love Diana too. I really love Diana. I was so upset when she died. I couldn't believe it. I think I was up as well. I think it was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it? And the news flash, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. In fact, I can actually feel that feeling that I felt. It was just, and I guess I felt kind of I felt spiritually linked to Diana. I don't know why. The next day I went for a walk, and everything seemed to stand still, you know. I don't know. I mean, I was in the UK, so it was a bit of a shock to the UK. But I went to this. I can't remember where it was, but it was like a national park, and it was when it was around her burial time, actually, on that little island. Do you remember? And there was this park. I love national parks, and there was this like I can't remember, like a national heritage park, and it had a great big lake, and in the centre of this lake, it had an island, and I just stood there looking at this island. It wasn't that island which Diana was being buried, but I didn't know, and that was like that same week that she was being. And I stopped, and I said to my friend, I said, "Gosh, that's like that island that Princess Diana, you know, was buried." And I kind of stood there, and it was very poignant. I thought, gosh, and I was looking at this like island, and I thought it looked so lonely on this island, you know. But apparently, I don't know, it was that it's where she used to, not that particular island, but it was, I remember it being very cloudy too. I remember it being very cloudy that week. And very gloomy, kind of. Yeah, so I won't go into that, but yeah, I love Princess Diana too. So I'm just going to put my glasses on, and I have done some intuitive, I did some intuitive notes before, you know, I really kind of focused and channeled in to feel the energies. I don't want to say that I'm getting energies here from Princess Diana, I don't want to make claims like that, because I'm not going to be some weirdo who makes claims that I'm actually channeling from her spirit. Not at all, because I am an intuitive reader, okay, and I bring up, you know, I'm a very strong empath, and I pick up very intuitively, and yeah, I know. Somebody said they felt heartbroken. So did I. I cried. I sobbed my heart out, and especially our boys at the funeral. I just couldn't stop sobbing. It was just horrible, just so horrible. And I will delve into that. It's not something you're going to enjoy listening to, I'm afraid, because of, you know, the reality behind the scenes of this. Now, I'll also go into the final. I will do part 1, part 2s on this, but on the final one, I will look at trying to channel the feelings and intuitively of William and Harry. I know they don't like to be any interference in that, but I want them to channel to feel, is it, you know, to feel, do they really know what kind of went on behind the scenes here. I think there is some epiphany of this. I also get with Harry and William, they're actually stuck in this kind of royal firm here. So it's something, It's something they would never be able to say, hey, I kind of know. You know, they wouldn't be able to jump up and say, hey, I kind of know what went on here. They wouldn't be able to say that. So they are kind of trapped in this as well, because so was Diana. Okay, that's what I picked up spiritually here. So as I'm doing some cards here, and I'm going to start with the medieval deck, and I've got no desk here. I should bring that table round really, but the first thing that I'm getting here, I like I say, I'm not making any claims that I am channeling from Diana or anything like that. I don't want anybody to think I'm a strange weirdo. I'm not. I'm just instantly trying to, because I actually did feel a lot with her, and I felt an affinity with her. We're kind of the same age too. So it's something, and people who did adore her, she was beautiful, wasn't she? Are going to feel, are going to feel that, are going to feel, going to feel this kind of affinity to her. Oh, really? Caroline Smith here says that she actually shook hands with Prince Harry at the Armed Forces. That's lovely. Okay, that's so lovely. And yeah, it was. And Maureen has said it was like a light went out. I think if you grew up with that kind of, I grew up with Diana, that age group. She's the same age as me, slightly older. But when you grew up with that, you saw the wedding, and you aspired to the wedding, and you thought, oh gosh, I want to get married like that one day, and it's like you followed the haircuts and all of that kind of thing. And you kind of grew up with it. So it's a similar thing with like Whitney Houston kind of thing, and you kind of grew up with those people, and you kind of, they became part of your life in a way. I know that sounds strange, but I do feel that. But I do get, first of all, here with this spiritual reading here, intuitive reading. Am I channeling Diana? Well, I think that's up to you to say. I don't want to make that claim, but I am a very intuitive person. Okay, I do pull, and I'm not just saying this because I am, but I do feel that Diana is very much an empath, and that was not recognised. Empaths were not recognised there. Back in that day, I feel that an empath. If you're not sure what an empath is somebody who's been kind of moulded and to serve others. To actually please people. But I get that Diana, I think she was brought up because they knew that she was in that set, she was in that set of they knew that she would have to please, you're talking about the high socialites, the aristocrats, and all of that, okay. And the way that Diana would have been brought up is to appease a man, really. I mean, if you look at these Pride and Prejudice and all that, they had to appease their suitors, kind of thing, their suitors. And this goes down generations with aristocratic, kind of British aristocratic, especially royalty and dukes and earls and all of that. So they want them to marry into their own kind, into their own set. And that's why they're so interbred. It's unbelievable. But they marry their cousins, and they marry people who are they're related to, but you wouldn't dream, as well, most of us wouldn't dream about marrying our first cousin or somebody like that. It wouldn't. But there is this sense that what I'm getting here is that Diana had to marry into blue blood. We've got blue blood, and I think that was like the family's major aim. If you was in that aristocratic set, to actually marry blue blood, it was going right back generations. Okay, and this is very much gone into the way that Diana was kind of molded into this, going to finishing schools, making sure that she was not too overeducated to overshadow her prince, or her aristocratic, because that's the way they were molded, so they would not be overshadowing the real person, the real man in the marriage, which is who wears the pants is the prince, the king. Okay, the king, the prince. So it's like dubbing down that education so that the king, the prince would shine, and the queen would stand by. Very kind of I'm picking up here, trying to pick up this energy, very much being demure, being loyal, and obeying. Okay. And they still say that, don't they, in the royal weddings? It's part of it. You will obey the King of England. They're not going to take that obey out of, and I think they had that, didn't they, with Harry and Meghan. You're not going. She said, "I will obey." So it's all part of this royal blood thing. So I do pick up on Diana as being, like I said, similar to me, and in ways of being empathic. And she was very, very much a spiritual being. She was very much a spiritual being. I will explain this in a minute. Actually, I'll switch decks here because I don't feel that's working for me, that one. So I'm switching to this one, not for Diana anyway. So yeah, we all love Diana, and she's a legacy, absolutely a legacy, and she's very unique. Unique is what's coming through here. She's very unique in the way that she was brought up to serve, to be selfless, and to give. She was brought up like this because that's how she would have to serve. She would have to serve. So she's been brought up, this unique being, okay, who was kind of born into this, to have this. And the way this manifested itself with Princess Diana is that it made her very hypersensitive. She was a pure empath, okay. Many people have referred her or kind of compared her to Mother Teresa because of a sensitivity towards humanity. And that's, and then we're comparing again with Meghan and Princess Diana, and it's like, no way is Meghan like Princess Diana. Why? Look at the upbringing, okay. And again, you're talking about this. Princess Diana was molded into being an empath, into being this hypersensitive human being. Although it was accidental, I feel they overdid it with that. They overdid it with the serving that she had to serve. Okay, they kept her education down. They just, she got GCSEs. She never did a degree, and she went to finishing school so she could actually be around, the way to cross her legs, the way to walk with books on your head looking stupid, and all of that, and learning French and just a finishing school kind of lady, to be a lady, but not too overeducated. How sexist is that? How sexist is that? I could scream at this point, you know, because that's what energies that I'm getting in here for the way that Princess Diana was moulded. Yeah, there was very much years before that, when she was about 11 years old, that, you know, she would marry a king. I think she was told that she was going to marry the future king. So this was planned way before they actually met. So let's go back to her. Very unique, hypersensitive, empathic human being because of the way she was molded, but she kind of went even more so in towards being very spiritual, okay, which people don't like spirituality. They feel frightened of spiritual. I've had so many, sometimes the comments that I've had, I've been very kind of anti-spiritual, intuitive, you know, because they don't understand that an actual sensitivity, a hypersensitivity of an empath can become, you know, can become spiritual. You know, and then you're serving towards humanity. People don't get that. So I do get that Princess Diana was she's very spiritual, very spiritual. She actually, you know, she could walk into a room and she would feel deeply everyone's emotions, you know, and that's what made her, and why she kind of looked down with her eyes, because she could feel these strong emotions from people, and didn't really know how to cope with it as a young girl at 19. And, you know, you could see that she'd look away, you know, look away like that, and then look back up, because the attention that she drew, the emotions was overpowering to Princess Diana, because she was sensitive. She was a sensitive, hypersensitive human being. Okay, this is something that the royal family are crap at. They're rubbish at, okay? They are rubbish at hypersensitivity and spirituality. You know, I would get the Queen dismissing that. Oh, what a load of rubbish that is. What a load of garbage. We're not talking about that. You know, we deal with realism and, you know, realism and duty. It's about duty. And I'm getting the Queen saying that right from when she was, you know, I think she was indoctrinated by blooming Queen Victoria. That's how the Queen was. She was like, it's about duty, you know. So here we have this big mistake. This was a huge mistake, okay, to bring Diana up to be this very sensitive human being who's serving, selfless, unconditionally love people, yeah? And we all knew that about Diana. That's why we loved her, because she had that special thing, you know? And I can feel this tingling right through my body at the moment. I feel that she is here. She wants you to know that, guys. And I don't proclaim to channel Diana, but I get this here now, this tingling of, yes, that's the way I just wanted to love everyone. I wanted to love everyone, and I just wanted to give to everybody. And, you know, and I never got that love. I don't feel that, and she was manipulated to be like that. You know, the fathers, she was never validated as being, you know, and I think in her interviews, if you watch her interviews, she was never validated. She said that she was never validated. She was told stupid growing up and things like that, especially the stepmother, you know, who was pretty much a narcissistic bitch, really. And I do go into narcissism. And I do. My channel does go into narcissism. And I feel this is part of the problem here, that they brought out that the father did not validate. The father did give her love, show her love, because he could see the potential in her, and he brought her up to be this soft person. But she had this stepmother from hell, didn't she? That she said, very candidly said, this woman was evil. I feel so. Here we have this human being. Yeah, we'll go into Camilla. And somebody said, I blame Camilla. Well, at this point here, I'm talking about Diana, okay? She'd not met, at this point that I'm talking about her now, she'd not even met Camilla, okay? She had been schooled into being a future, queen consort, okay? So, oh, you're in the Daily Mail. What do you mean, the Daily Mail? I don't actually read the Daily Mail. You're in the Daily Mail. I don't get that. Anyway, this is me. This is my take, on this. So let's have a look. The lovely Diana here, unique person, the way she was formed, the way she was groomed, and picked up on everybody in the room, the emotions. Okay. Hypersensitive. She was groomed to be hypersensitive, and this is where the mistake was, okay, with her. You must cater to everyone's needs. So I get a higher dimensional state. In fact, she was so sensitive. She was spiritual. She was at a higher dimensional state. And we all kind of linked into that. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know what at this point in time, I get the Page of Air. Okay, the Page of Air is, she brought new ideas into, she was always looking at new ideas. I think she was potential to be intelligent and clever. She didn't have the opportunity to study for a degree. Always told that she was stupid, but this theory wasn't proven, that she could have been very kind of powerful. And I will go into this later on, because this theory, she wanted to prove this theory that she was not stupid, that she did have these new ideas. And this new idea was to share love to humanity and stop these atrocities, in our humanity. And she was curious about this. Why does this happen in our world? Why would this happen in our world? And she was trying to give people a new focus of how to deal with this. If that makes sense, actually, it's quite poignant in a way. So I'll just pop that card. Let me just spin the camera around slightly. Sorry. So I do get that I should have put a little desk here. I should have brought that little desk here. I will do next time. So yeah, I get the Page of Air. I feel she could have very much been a spiritual leader. Okay, not in terms of the church or anything like that. Something different from that. I think that she was becoming more powerful in that sense of becoming an alternative spiritual leader, and that's what us intuitive readers are, and tarot are becoming like an alternative faith, an alternative, something else to believe, to have faith in. Okay, and I feel this about Diana. I'm not just saying that because I feel like this, okay, but I can feel this. I get the King of Fire. Okay, and maybe spiritual leaders didn't kind of like the way that she was going with these thoughts here, and because what she was doing is showing that she was a spiritual leader with no qualifications. That's what they didn't like. And that she was inspiring others very strongly, okay? And she was a teacher. She was teaching people how to be empathic. And she was aspiring people. I don't feel the church like that, okay, although I do see Diana used to kneel down and pray. I don't know where that was, maybe a little private chapel that I feel she was religious, and she used to go and sit down and pray, okay, in a private chapel, very small, I get around. She used to do that quite regularly. She used to say she was grateful for this gift that she was given, okay. Very much introspective kind of female was Diana, believe it or not. She'd got this very strong side, and she was very much kept this to herself, the hermit. You know, if people knew this, they'd think I were crazy. She would actually regroup herself too. If she felt upset about, got overwhelmed by all of these emotions around her, she would actually spend time cleansing herself and regrouping herself in a spiritual sense. I get like a small chapel somewhere to do this. Clearing a perspective. Okay, this higher dimensional side of her, to feel other people's experiences very, very deeply, not just on the surface, very, very deeply. Okay, she had a high capacity for empathy of others. But she would internalize our own emotions. Does that make sense? When there were people opposing against her, I think that started after, we'll go on to Charles, that came after. Before Charles, she was very kind of spiritual. She cared about people. She didn't have this defensiveness of feeling people's emotions around her. She didn't get that. Okay, yeah, I get very authentic too. Thank you. There, got a comment there. And I will do. Somebody's put there that her sons. She's passed this to her son. She has. Okay, this authentic, genuine way of sharing themselves empathically. Absolutely. Okay, she has that. That is something that she has taught her sons, which is amazing. Okay. So this kind of internalizing our own emotions through this conflict. And engaging on a sensitivity. You know, she would internalize it. And what I mean by engaging on her sensitivity, she would then give more and more and more to appease, because that's the way she's been trained. You know, she would give more and more. She would internalize it, and then she would give it to her children. She would give it to her son. She would overcompensate for that. The empathy. She would teach her sons too. You know, or if anybody's suffering, who's in pain, and you must help these people. You must show them that you care. It's very important, Harry. I can feel that I'm saying that. It's very important, Harry. It's very important, William, that you actually, you know, you help these people. Okay, there's so much pain, and the thing is, this is because she internalized her own pain. That she wanted to. Why should I internalize my pain? This is what I'm getting. Instead of me carrying this pain, I will give to others. I will give to others, because that's the way she dealt with internalizing her own pain, by giving to others. Okay, that's what I get here. I'm very highly spiritual. Okay. Somebody was highly spiritual and gave too much. That's what I get here. She gave too much. I mean, how can you not, and I can relate to that, because that's why I do this channel, because I want to give. I want to give and help others. And I feel, because when you're highly spiritual and you're a highly empathic person, you just want to give that out to the universe. As like an alternative kind of spiritual leader. Does that make sense? And that's why the church was slightly against Princess Diana. They thought that she was doing all these kind of things, and it was going against religious church thing. She's not even got the education. I think there was something even written about that going back in the 80s. I don't remember it, but if I just picking up intuitively, there was something written that she's actually going against the church there. Okay, whatever that is. So, okay, we've got on the one hand this Diana, this beautiful Diana, who is very spiritual, very authentic, hypersensitive, okay, to giving to people, who had been dumbed down her education to serve a future king, okay. And then we've got Prince Charles. Now, I'm not going to put Prince Charles down here, okay, but Prince Charles is, and I'm going to be candid, and if he watched this, he probably would agree to this, okay. He was brought up by Prince Philip and the Queen. So we've got Prince Philip. I will do a reading on Prince Philip too. I get Prince Philip, who had no father. His father dumped him in these cruel, very strict boarding schools. Okay. And I also get, if they wet the bed, they had to hang this wet, bed. So they didn't do it. It was very narcissistic, the way that they were taught. Okay, the father dumped him and then he wanted to have affairs. And he'd met this woman. He couldn't marry her. He couldn't have an affair because why? Because he'd got a wife. Okay, so he had to get rid of this wife. In terms of, he was so powerful. I mean, he used to mix with the Nazis. Okay, we're talking about Hitler. They were friends with Hitler, for God's sake. Talk about having a dark family history. Prince Philip's family were friends with Hitler, and there you go. He couldn't marry this woman that was so he said, well, she's mentally ill. So this frees me up, so I can marry this other woman here. So threw her into some mental hospital when she was not mentally ill. That came out. She became a nun, didn't she? Further down the line, she was very well respected. I feel that she even came to Greece. She was very respected in Greece here. So, and she was like a second Mother Teresa. So here we have this Philip indoctrinating, his kind of upbringing on his son, on his firstborn, which was Charles. Okay, so sending him initially to a boarding school that he went to that was quite cruel, and I feel that Prince Philip said to the dean of the school, you don't treat him with kid gloves. You actually treat him, make sure that you're strict with him. Don't give him any privileges, and make sure that it comes out, very strong, and a man with no emotions, okay. Well, that's the way a narcissist would be brought up, yeah. But I think Charles was highly regarded by the Queen and his mother, and the Queen did not want her son to go to this very strict kind of boarding school, but off he went, and he was indoctrinated with this rough kind of treatment, abuse in a way. I guess sometimes it was abusive towards Charles. And he used to be ringing up his mummy, 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 I don't like it here. Please, can I come home? And all of this. So he spent a lot of years. And when he got back, Philip kind of treated him like he was a wimp. What do you mean you want to come out of this boarding school? What is wrong with you, you wimp? And was quite cruel towards him. Now, was kind of Prince Philip the right person to be married to the Queen? I think yes, because at the time, I will do an intuitive reading on this too. At the time, okay, I'm talking about marrying for duty and not marrying for love. Okay, marrying for duty and not marrying for love. That was all what marriages in the royal family were like. And I am going to do a future reading on that, okay, where they did not marry for love. So I'm just comparing these. Why didn't it work between Diana and Charles in this reading? So going towards this situation with Charles, going to a boarding school, which was very kind of rough treating boarding school, being kind of molded into, some kind of narcissist. Okay, that's what it is. It's pure narcissism. Prince Philip is a narcissist. He doesn't feel love. He doesn't feel empathy. And he doesn't feel emotion, because that's the way that he was brought up. You don't feel emotion, okay? Don't be a wimp. So this was actually transferred to Charles in a very strong sense. Lots of arguments about that. And in that time as well, Prince Philip was going off having affairs with multiple women, dancers, ballet dancers, you name it. So there was no love in royal kind of, it was about duty. And they married for duty. And, if you can get your son or your daughter married into blue blood, that's the best you can do. And it's all very hierarchical, and it's all very kind of that kind of set. They didn't marry for love. Forget about the love. You're future king here. You don't marry for love. You can have affairs. You can go and have an affair with the actress, go and have an affair with that ballerina, go and have an affair with this, that, the other. But you don't marry for love. It's about duty. So here we have Prince Charles, who is now a covert narcissist, okay. And he's playing the part with his polo and dating the women around him. He's playing the part convincingly that he's a future king. He's very charming on the surface. And he's magnetic. There's a magnetism around him, and and to somebody like Princess Diana, who sees this person, this covert narcissist, he would be the perfect, he would be the perfect partner for Diana, Princess Diana, because he's kind of he's charming, he's magnetic, as I said, and he's very, very agreeable on the surface. Okay, but if you look at the contrast of the way he's been brought up and the way that Princess Diana was brought up, now you can see where this was a big mistake, So I'm pulling some cards out here for now, I am being candid. I'm sorry, Prince Charles, if you're watching this, but you are a covert narcissist, and I think you know that. Okay. You was very convincing to Princess Diana of being charming. You were very magnetic, but your dad was saying to you, you can have affairs. You can. Why? Because he had affairs. His father had affairs, and it goes right down the line of this, treat women like objects. Treat women like objects. Okay. I also get that Prince Charles felt like the hermit in this royal family. He felt very alone, mentally, I feel, because of this mental cruelty, he felt quite alone. I don't feel he felt loved. They told, Prince Charles it was void of emotion. And then we got, there's Three of Cups here. I've got him, encouraged to go out and party and, go and find a marriage partner and go out there and party, which he did. I guess that he met Camilla at that time when he was partying. Father saying, sleep around, before you meet the object that you're going to marry, because they're all objects. All these women are damn objects. Okay, you don't get tied up emotionally. So off he went with his partying. He met Camilla. He had a love affair with Camilla, but that's not the right person for you to marry, Prince Charles. This was just your playground kind of phase in your life. Now you have to get serious and meet the right person. This person, you can't marry Camilla. You had this sexual affair with her. It was part of that partying time, but you can't marry her. Okay. I feel I've got the Queen of Cups, so I don't feel, I feel this is Camilla. Okay. The Queen of Cups, I don't think she's the Queen of Cups, but I've got the Queen of Cups. Maybe she is. I don't know her birthday. I get Camilla came into this part before he actually met his future consort. Yeah, lots and lots of lovers. I get the lovers. Okay. Camilla and Charles were lovers before. Actually, I feel before, even right up to Diana, them getting married. And this was the birth here of this love affair between him and Camilla. And it happened when he was sowing his wild oats. He fell in love. He fell in love with Camilla. In all reality here, it wasn't meant to be like that. That wasn't the plan. But he did. He fell in love with her. But if he did go with Camilla, there would have been a financial loss here. It was all about money. It was all about duty. You cannot marry Camilla. You have to, we've chosen somebody for you. So he had to sacrifice Camilla. Okay, I get the Hangman. I know we're talking about Charles here, but then this is where Princess Diana came in here, which we've got the Queen of Wands. I don't know if she's a fire sign, but I'm getting her coming up as the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands are very spiritual people, okay? And I get this is like the Four of Cups, and you have, this is quite confusing for Prince Charles, because this is like new opportunities here. And you should welcome this opportunity into your life, because there's a fear of losing security. For some bizarre reason, I mean, the royal family, I feel they've got enough money, but it was an inappropriate relationship with Camilla. For whatever reason they felt it was inappropriate. I think this was she married at this point? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she was married at this point. It's inappropriate. Can't be with that woman. Okay. That's all I'm hearing here. And he stayed in that relationship when he should have let it go. He didn't. Why am I getting this? He stayed in this relationship. I'm getting this coming through. He stayed in this relationship when he should have let it go. And then he became this person like his father indoctrinated into him, which is, you don't marry for love, it's duty. So, and I don't care what people say here, but I'm going to say what's coming actually okay. Whether, I don't know who's this channeling through, but I get if you want something, you will not, don't care about who you have. If you want something, you're the king, you're the future king of England. You go for that, and don't care about who you hurt in the process. Okay, and this is what made Charles right, absolutely right above Diana. Okay, and everything she complained about, we've just got married or engaged, and I can see you're very close to this Camilla here. What's going on? And it's my right. If I want to be friends with this person, I will be friends with this person. I don't care if I'm hurting you. Okay. This is a revelation here of this. After the marriage of Charles and Diana went in with this very empathic, very caring, very kind of sensitive, very special, unique person. Okay, went into this marriage with this narcissist, covert narcissist. Okay, who ended up being sneaky, conniving, cheater. Okay, all very much a narcissistic trait. And if I want something, I don't care about you. I'll just go and get it, kind of thing. So after a while, Princess Diana's thinking this is actually becoming aware of this, because don't forget that Princess Diana is hypersensitive to things, emotions around her, because she's an empath. So if she saw that look towards Camilla and Camilla looking back, it was hypersensitized. Okay, and she could feel it. She knew. And then there was the epiphany of this. The epiphany of this is that I have been used here. I have been used in this situation. And Charles is just a liar. Charles has lied to me, has been charming and put a mask on for me to show that he's a different person. And in this public arena, if Camilla is around, that mask comes off and he's flirting with Camilla and he's, just being who he is. So there was this epiphany after the marriage, not long after the marriage, that actually this is what this is what she'd entered into. So this has gone up to an hour now, but I'm going to do part 2, which is the painful experience following the marriage, following this epiphany of Diana, and where it goes from here. Okay, so thank you everybody for coming on Interactive here live, and I just want to say thank you so much for your comments. I've really I'll just read a couple of comments here. I've got one comment here. Their women are breeders. They are there to produce progeny, to keep the house of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. Like your wording, okay. Running the world for the next millennia. More fools. I don't think so. I don't think we're foolish anymore, do you? And I think I will come to that on a later date, the way Harry, although Harry with Meghan is the situation is a bit fake, but I will go into how William is not. Feel William's a little bit weak, but I feel that this is not going to hopefully not continue. But I don't know, is he strong enough to change it? Who knows? But I'll just Lorraine, the Queen Mother, and Diana's mother, set up the marriage of D and C. She was an aristocrat, absolutely. By the way, the Queen Mother's birthday is the same as Meghan's. Okay. And another comment here. Hi, somebody speaking to Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine. I agree, but Diana was a move from marrying a so-called blue bloods. Yes, I picked that up. She was the first that need bring blood into the family to stop inbreeding. I was pro Diana energy. Yeah, I'm pro Diana too. Okay, so yeah, so they're all kind of interlinked. Somebody said that like Princess Diana was linked to Charles II, and actually, yes, there's blue blood there. They wouldn't have. There was a match. They were a match. Okay, so how the next part of this? It's very interesting. Is going to be after this epiphany of marrying Prince Charles, of this covert narcissism that his mask just dropped off, and there he is openly having an affair with Camilla, and his father was saying, you can do that, but you keep it hidden. But although I did tell the Queen when I was having an affair with that ballerina, and she accepted that. It's all that too. Okay, so part 2 will be about after this epiphany. Okay, if you would like your own personal intuitive reading, okay, from me, which is like a face-to-face video call or a Skype reading, please give me, I have got a special offer too, so please give me an email. My email is sixsensetarot@gmail.com. I will put that in the description box at the bottom. If you can relate to me and you feel that, you feel me too, please come and have your own personal reading. I'd love to do a reading for you. Okay, sending you lots of love, lots of blessings. I will see you for part 2. Bye-bye.